The Urban Institute has recently released statistics indicating that 30-somethings today are far worse off than 30-somethings in the 1980s. And they looked at, the wealth of these individuals, and they found out that the net worth of 30-somethings adjusted for inflation today is down 21% from what it was for 30-somethings in 1983.
Look, this is the main story I've been telling all the Young Turks for how many years now, right? Which is productivity in this country did not go down. It did not even stabilize. It has been consistently going up. That's why I often mention my favorite graph. It's the graph where you see productivity rising like this. There's no question about it. But wages, boom, flatline, right? And the difference between the productivity, what we put in, and the American people worked really hard, where we were productive, we did the job right, and what we got to take home is corporate profits. And now corporations are supposed to have profits. That's not a problem. They're not supposed to take all of the productivity gain, and we're not supposed to, over decades, lose wages. We're not supposed to be more productive but get paid less. The reason that happened is because corporations easily captured our government the minute they were declared human beings, and then further declared in the late 1970s that they had speech rights and hence could spend money in politics. The minute they could spend money in politics, boom.
Yeah, and it's really a double whammy for 30-somethings and people in their 20s because of the fact that not only are they getting paid less for a work that 30-somethings did, in the 80s and actually got paid more for, but at the same time, they have to deal with a tremendous amount of debt, student loan debt. So let's look at the graphic that talks about student loan debt. It's actually tripled in the last decade, tripled. So it's becoming increasingly expensive. People are taking on all of these student loans, and they're getting paid less to do jobs that people used to get paid a decent wage for.
Some people say that's debt slavery, right? And what happens is you get shackled with the debt. And now look, it's not, I think slavery is too harsh a word, but it is true that you are shackled with it, and you got to pay it one way or another. So if you don't like what corporate America is doing, sad day, you got to keep working for them. You got all that debt, you got to pay off the debt, right? I mean, indentured servitude used to be 7 years. Now, how long are we paying that debt back? For a hell of a lot longer than 7 years, almost our whole life now.
Yeah, and just so you guys are absolutely clear on it, student loan debt is the only type of debt that you cannot get rid of under bankruptcy. So you are shackled to that debt, as Jake mentioned.
And by the way, corporations can go bankrupt. Oh, things went poorly. Sorry, the executives took all the money, and now the shareholders have nothing, the employees have nothing, but we don't have to pay the debts. But if it's you, no, student debt, that follows you forever. So on the one hand, you're productive, you're not getting the gains of it, and on the other hand, your student debt is tripled. Look, if you don't get money out of politics, this story never ends. It only gets worse. It never gets better. You've got to go to the core of the problem. That's why I scream about Wolfpack all the time. That's why I'm busting my ass over it, because honestly, I think it's our only hope. I don't mean just Wolfpack, anybody fighting to get money out of politics, but it's got to work. It's got to be effective. And every day we get closer to a system where we can't, because look, right now, they bought all the national politicians, right? Not all, but almost all, right? They haven't bought all the state politicians yet. I know because of our work with Wolfpack, right? You have more time, they're going to buy all those guys. And then it's all gone, okay? We have a narrow window. We got to work really hard. We can reverse it. Between 1945 and 1980, there was a golden era domestically where we actually would get the gains from our productivity. Our wages did increase significantly, and we got consumer protection, seatbelts, EPA, OSHA, etc. It can be done. Now look, I'm not saying it out of anything but the sheer necessity. We all got to join hands and do this together. That's why I tell you about it all the time. wolf-pack.com. Volunteer, become a member, sign a petition, do whatever you got to do, but we got to fix this.